Let me set this up for people who don't know. He's waiting in the wings. He's kind of like Scott said, he's a mini celebrity here.
Yes.
Hashtag Day Without Immigrants protest. By the way, if you're not going to show up to work, best not to tip them off. Right? This man told them, don't take the day off. We need you. And then they decided to take the day off, and then he terminated 30 people. That's about it. He just said, all right, you're out. He said, I have gone above and beyond for these people. No one is going to dictate how my company is run. Somebody get a badass intro
there we
for
go,
him, because this is Jim Serowski. Thank you for being with us, sir.
Thank you very much. I appreciate being here.
Jim, it seems the problem here was not that people just didn't show up because someone was sick, but they notified you they weren't going to show up and protest. Now, I've had jobs myself where if I told them I'm not going to work tomorrow and they said you have to work, I would anticipate being fired. Am I out of line there?
No, not at all, because you know what? To raise my two girls, I worked 7 days a week until my fingers were bleeding and I couldn't lay another brick, and I wouldn't miss a day of work because I had to support my family.
Right.
And that's my stance on that.
Well, so did they tell you beforehand they weren't, because I know there was a trend, everyone was talking about it. Did they say, hey, we're not going to show up to work and protest? And you had a conversation with them?
I did get a phone call from the foreman who orchestrated the whole thing. It wasn't all the guys on the jobs that just decided they were going to walk off. It was the foremen that shut the job down. And I told them, I says, if you take the day off, you're going to be fired. And
and they took that as a maybe?
Yeah, it's pretty simple.
They thought, well, this didn't start out as just one incident. This has been building up. They've been dictating to my wages that I've been paying them by making scandalous remarks and stuff.
Yeah.
But I take care of my guys very well, and I love them. It come down to that they turn their back on me as far as I'm concerned. I mean, I've done nothing but support each and every one of them because I know what it is to work in the field and work so hard.
Right.
It was devastating to me for them to take the day off. And I have 5-6 other jobs going on that they all worked.
Right. Yeah.
And they're all still working.
Well, so have you replaced these people yet, or is that a whole process?
No, I replaced them all.
Well, that happened quickly. Yes. So,
I make shit happen.
Yeah, well, that's hence the reason you are Jim Serowski. So, has the feedback been mostly positive or mostly negative?
I got all kinds of different negative. I mean, every phone call I got was negative. Now it's starting to become 50-50.
Yeah. Well, I think that's just because I think there's sort of a fuse on that, a long fuse, because the media tends to lean left, and it might take a while for people like us to actually get a hold of you. As a matter of fact, there were other people who did this too, Jim, and our booker was calling on the list, and they just said, listen, this has become such a crap show. I've gotten so many threats. I don't want to talk about it. And they were afraid, and you were the only one who sacked on up to the plate, so we appreciate it.
Well, I appreciate you giving me the opportunity, because you know what? A lot of people died for this country, and I feel the same way. I mean, I have the utmost respect for the veterans that died for this country and the ones who served for this country. And I thought it was very disrespectful for somebody to turn around and say, we're taking a day off because you need us.
Right. Well, that seems like very, very gracious of you. Well, I'm obviously a small business owner, and Gerald, you've done that quite a bit.
Absolutely.
How would you react to this?
I would react the same way. My dad owns a construction company, and you've got a timeline to keep.
Right.
People are pressuring you to get stuff done. You've got material costs and all kinds of things. You don't get checks until you get done.
Right.
And you're going to take a day off and cost me money for no good reason. So,
oh, boy, you hit that right on the head.
Yeah, that's right, baby.
I'll right, you hit that on the head. I am paying every government entity there is ahead of time before I get paid,
right,
which is a minimum or the fastest of 90 days.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
So I am literally funding not only the people that are working for JVS, but I'm funding the government.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, you're funding the government, who often a lot of these unions give giant kickbacks to in order to give them favorable laws as well. So it's a never-ending racket, right? It's like, all right, join the union. What if I don't want to join the union? Well, you're in a state where you have to join the union. Okay, now the union's going to support this Democratic candidate for president who's going to create pro-union laws, and then this happens. Do you feel angst at all, or sort of are you upset with the political climate that created this? This is a result of the political climate where there's this classism, right? it's the top 1%. Well, most people don't realize almost all businesses in the United States put you in the top 1%. You know, people don't understand that if they look at the way businesses are taxed. Is there a part of you that goes like, gosh, you know, I just want to create jobs and make an honest living and not have to deal with the political climate that is everywhere now?
That's a very good question. It's, you know, I don't do this for myself.
Right.
I do this for my family.
Right.
And I've done this for my family. And I have the utmost respect for everybody in the field that's going to work as hard as I did.
Right.
And that's what it comes down to. It's not about, you know, sure, I enjoy perks now and again, but
sure,
it's, you know.
Yeah. That's none of anyone's business. Listen, if you make a good living, so much the better. And a lot of business owners, like Gerald knows, a lot of them struggle to make any living. Often, certainly in the first few years, you're paying employees more than you're taking as a business owner.
And it feels really weird.
It feels really weird. And then it feels especially...
But it's the truth. It's the utmost truth. I can't tell you how much I struggled to start this company. I mean, I was banging my head on the desk at night at 11 o'clock because I was so tired, because I was driving truck, I was laying brick, I was estimating, and people want estimates from me, and I just got so tired that I just banged my head on the desk going, oh my God, why am I doing this?
You hear that? That's tax him. That's a lot. That's a lot of privilege going on.
From that.
That's a lot of privilege going on there.
You had a desk.
Yeah. Well, by the way, banging head on the desk. Let's keep that to a minimum. That's not necessarily good for longevity. You have a lot more. You have other employees to worry about.
And that's what my psychiatrist says.
Yeah, exactly.
That's good. That's good.
Exactly. Until the employees don't show up and you can't foot the psychiatry bill, and they say, "Let me help you." Go ahead, right there.
But that's not the case.
No.
Because I care about them.
Right. Well, that's most business owners. Again, they assume this motive that it's like, you know, you're just Scrooge McDuck jumping into a pile of gold. Let me ask you, how many people do you employ total at your company?
Between 90 and 100 at this point. After the other day, 60 to 70.
Okay, that's a big.
Still above the Obamacare line.
It's still above the Obamacare line, so you got to provide that health care.
Should have found 10 more.
Yeah.
And I started from nothing.
Yeah.
Nothing. Absolutely nothing.
Gosh, well, I mean, it's an odd time in history where at one point we'd be having Jim on just as an interview, you know, or any news channel would, just as an American success story. Hey, look, white picket fence, American dream. This guy went out, he made an honest buck, he worked hard, and now he's enjoying the fruits of his labor. Instead, nowadays, the first story you hear is big evil business owner who laid off people who decided not to show up to work.
It's crazy.
It's in that. You know, and that was it. It was bottom line is, you know, I take care of you guys. I support you guys. So I took it personal for you not to show up.
Sure.
Because you hurt me. Because I'm the one that has to, bottom line, deal with the contractual obligations.
Yeah.
I'm the one that I have my name on it.
Right. Well, that's a productive mindset versus the mindset of someone who actually it can be really selfish. It's a lack of consideration for other people in the company or the people who employ you.
There's a certain amount of irony in let's protest and see how you can live without me, and then they rehire new people the next day.
Well, to tell you the truth, I mean, you guys hit that right on the head too. It's,
yeah.
You know, I'm pretty resilient. I'm not gonna give in to somebody's.
Yeah.
Think that they are going to shut America down.
Yeah.
For a day.
Right.
And that you are going against everything that I was raised upon.
Yeah.
And my beliefs. You're not. When I'm at 100% pure Polish. Both my grandparents came over from Poland, and you know what? They did nothing but teach me how to be an American.
Yeah.
And to respect it.
Well.
And to honor it.
Well, that's a good point. I mean, listen, people say we're a nation of immigrants. Actually, no, we're a nation of people who came from other countries to become Americans. When you're here, you're no longer an immigrant, you're an American, and that's the beauty of a cultural melting pot. Hey, one thing to keep an eye out, though, we do have to go. Jim, there is going to be hashtag Day Without Women. So if you have any female employees,
be careful.
Expect to be laying some of them off, but a nag-free day. So it's going to be fun. It's going to be a good time.
I got a soon-to-be ex-wife, so I'm all into it.
Hey, if you like this video, subscribe. by clicking the button that says subscribe. If you're not aware of it now, there's no way you're learning the internet at this point. I'm not going to help you. But this was clipped from my daily show, available exclusively to louderwithcrowder.com/mugclub members. If you're student, military, or veteran, enter in that promo code. It's less than $6 a month, and you get daily content. No more clips, plus this hand-etched mug. Oh, when I feel it, I got a chill like on the inside.